Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie creator interview. It's your Cape Crusader Cody, and we're keeping it geekly with our returning guest, Roselinath. We're here to break down Division 5, Volume 2, and everything in between. Let's go ahead and drop that Kickstarter, or the pre-launch, in chat. This is going live April 2nd. Rose, welcome back to the stream. How have you been?
I've been pretty good. I have been super busy. It has been a wild last, I don't even know how many months now. We just finally moved to Germany. We've been here about 2 months now. So we finally have an apartment. I'm still unpacking. There's boxes and stuff behind me. This is probably the neatest part of the house so far. We have our little nerd, let me move my head this way, nerd table over there. I don't really have the lights on, so you can't see anything, but still settling in right now. Finally getting back into arting and trying to work on a Division 5 novel and other things right now.
Hello, ich bin Cody.
Oh yeah, I am still learning German. I don't really know that much German yet.
Shout out to Duolingo in my spare time.
Yes.
Little Green Bird, you are doing me some justice. So outside of a big move from like one continent to another, that has to be such a hard adjustment. You're fitting in a freaking novel for Division 5. How's that been going? Where did the inspiration for that come from?
So last year, I have like blasted over social media. My health was really, really bad. I had such severe deficiencies. I could not like walk or do anything of the sort. Like if I started walking, I would faint. Like I would just fall over. So my health got really bad, and I couldn't even hold the tablet pen. So I couldn't draw. And I was like, okay, well, I can't draw. I can't really go out and do stuff. Like, what can I do? And I used to write fanfic all the time when I was a lot younger. So I have like tons of fanfic made. And I was like, why don't I just like make a novel too, in case I can't draw again? You know, I'm also a writer. Well, why don't I just embrace doing that? So I started writing while doing like treatments and getting myself back in shape and trying to like recover from deficiencies. And I was like, all right. And by the time I was pretty much kind of like mostly recovered, I finished a book.
How many pages did it end up being?
It is 278 pages. It
Wow.
is 94,000 words.
Wow.
And I already started writing the second Division 5 novel, so it's going to be a trilogy.
So does it cover like Volume 1, or is it like its own standalone thing?
So not the novel. I should say the comic follows the novel. Novel has more scenes in it that happen that's not in the comic, just because I'm the only person who's drawing the comic too. So I do all the line art, the coloring, the shading, like all the lettering. So, which is a lot of work for one person. So the comic has certain scenes that are like cut out that I don't feel like I need to put into the comics. I feel like previous events, just like visually without the words, you can understand it.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so there's a lot of scenes like in the novel and dialogue that didn't make it into the comics. So if you are a comic reader and you go into the novel, you're like, oh yes, I remember this happening. It's like, oh, but there's little like extra bits happening now. Like there's more context for things. And if you're a novel reader who goes to the comic, it's like, oh, and I can see everything happening visually.
So we have Mr. X over on YouTube stopping in to say, Rose, howdy. Welcome to the stream, Mr. X. I hope you're having a fantastic time. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask away. So how was it writing the novel? I mean, that had to have been a terrifying time for you. Like a lot of, just crazy emotions happening. Like, how did it feel to bust out a novel during all that?
I felt pretty proud of myself, actually, because like I said, I've written fanfic, but I've never like actually written like a book. Like I've written a comic book, obviously, but I never did like an actual novel. And I enjoy reading books too, not just comic books, but like other novels. So I wanted to try my hand at it, and I managed to do it. And my sister is currently my proofreader, and we are on the final proofreading before I get to draw a cover for it, and then put it on Amazon. And it's like this close to being done, like finalized.
That's awesome. Cover. So, I mean, does a book cover a volume, or how does it work in the world of Division 5?
Wait, was it for like the volume or?
Yeah. So it's like the first book covering the first volume, or?
Oh, so I'm gonna be drawing a different cover for the novel.
Well, no, I meant like the novel. You said it follows like the story with extra added bits. Like, does it like?
Oh yeah.
How much of Division 5 does it cover? Does the book 1 cover?
A lot. So you're talking about the novel itself, right?
Yeah.
The novel pretty much covers the first third of the story.
Okay.
Yeah, so the comics volume 1 and volume 2 are probably only 14 chapters of the actual novel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're looking at having this series is going to be really ongoing, it sounds like.
Yeah. My goal at this point is to get the comic done up until the end of the first novel.
Okay.
Which is already a lot of work cut out. So, it's a passion project, I do it. I love.
So, do you have like most of the story plotted out, or do you feel like the novel is kind of helping you unlock maybe different ideas?
I would say yes to both of those. After I wrote the novel, it kind of gave me insight of how I could have some of the dialogue go down in the comic, like how to like cut it. Because my goal in the comic is to not have it as long as the novel. The whole goal is to try to cut it down as much as I can, just for myself, but like enough where readers can still understand what's going on. So that's definitely how it's like helped me with that too.
That's really cool. Going back to Division 5, it started as a webcomic, if I'm not mistaken. Was it hard to translate that into an actual book, like a comic book?
Probably a little bit, because when I started Division 5 and I posted back online in December 15th, 2019, that's when I first uploaded it. I was doing the pages sort of like a mix between vertical and traditional format. So, eventually at some point down the line, I was like, I want to make this like a physical comic book. I don't want it to just be like a webcomic. Like, I want to hold it in my hands, because I'm someone who prefers physical media anyways. I like having physical books that I can like hold in my hands and like open and like experience and like real time, physically. And so I had to go back and redo like at least 175 pages.
Wow.
So not necessarily redo, but I had to resize them, and then I had to paint over them so they would fit the increased resolution. Because when I started making my comic, it was the webtoon size. So it was like the 1200 by 800 pixels, which is really tiny. It's only a few inches.
It doesn't stretch out good?
No, it didn't. So I had to go back and go, geez, I really had my work cut out for me. But it was worth it. Because once I did all of that and I set up the book and I proofread as best as I could and everything like that, I did the Kickstarter for it, and I was really shocked that it got 500% funded, just about.
Wow.
So, yeah. That really surprised me.
Going forward, I mean, did you do anything different with like the resolution so you didn't have to do that with volume 2?
Yeah, I made all my pages now are much higher resolution now. It's much more crisp to look at.
How did panel layout go for you?
I feel like my panel layout is doing much better now. So the way I work on all my pages, so I work in Photoshop. And in Photoshop, or any art program, you have folders where you can just put like layers into. So every single panel has its own folder. So I can just like manipulate and move panels around or readjust the sizes, like individual panels, with that, and make them as big or as small as I need to without worrying about any issues with them.
It like blows my mind you say Photoshop though, because like I use Photoshop and sometimes I struggle on even just the simplest of editing. So the fact you're doing like a whole comic, it's like, what?
Yeah, no. Well, the beauty of Photoshop and the reason why I use it is because it's I'm mostly a digital painter as well. Like a lot of my backgrounds you'll see are like digitally painted by me, like a painterly style. And I find Photoshop is a really good program for people who are digital painters more than like Clip Studio. Clip Studio is more for Clip Studio is probably the best for webcomics, honestly. I'll say right here and now. Definitely superior art program in terms of that, but I like Photoshop just because of the brush engine for painting, and also Photoshop's really good at editing things. And I tend to go back and do tons and tons and tons of editing, so I have a whole system set up in it where I can just edit even like the tiniest of things, including like the color if I want to, switch if I want something more blue or green, for example.
And that system is super important. It's been really lately I've been, I guess, realizing how important it is to have those tools. Like a mechanic in a garage, they need the tools to work on a car, and if they don't have it, then they're screwed. It takes longer to fix that car, and that applies to every single aspect of life, right? Like if you don't have the right tools for something, it's going to take you longer. And then you're going to wish you had those tools. So it's cool that Photoshop has been that tool for you, that you've been able to really utilize it and do so well on it. Now, let's kind of dive into Division 5. So we have Winter, we have Arc Extent, and then the Cosmos Plague in Volume 1. And that's kind of like the basis of it. I want to say there was 15 chapters in the first volume, or?
So the first volume is the prologue to Chapter 7.
Okay. All right.
So volume 2 will be chapter 8 through 14.
Maybe it's the uploads on Global Comics that I was like, kind of reading. Okay. All right.
Yeah, because I have a free to read online if people just prefer that. So.
No, so that's probably what it was. I was like, 15 chapters. Oh my god! And then you're like telling me like the book, and in my head I'm like, dude, this thing is gonna be massive. So.
The novel's only gonna be a trilogy, so it's not going beyond that.
So give us a little bit, about Division 5 and what it's about for anyone who might be listening for the first time.
All right, so Division 5, the too long to read version, as I tell people, is a scientist who's trying to find the cure to Cosmos Plague, finds a woman who is immune to it and becomes obsessed with her and heavily invests in her, and he wants to know why she is immune. So that is the too long to read version.
What is the Cosmos Plague? Like, what does it do?
So Cosmos Plague is an oncovirus. If you're not familiar with the oncovirus, they're a virus that causes cancer. This is an alien virus, so we're not going to go based on Earth biology or, it's fiction. We're not gonna go based on.
We don't need no rules.
Exactly. But it pretty much kind of it causes tumors or biomass to grow very rapidly in the chest cavity specifically. It gives like lesions and other tumors around the body. So it's kind of brutal. Like you have like blood coming out of the pore, like not the pores, but like your orifices, like your mouth, your nose, ears, stuff like that. Just because of that, and eventually you kind of have like an alien moment where your chest bursts open.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it would definitely suck to get the Cosmos Plague. I mean, what was your inspiration for this story when you were writing it, and then you're like, let's give the people, the inhabitants of this world, the most brutalist disease possible?
Yeah, so that's actually Earth's problem right now. Because Division 5 is the planet that we are currently on. It's a foreign alien planet. Mm-hmm. And we kind of know that it once you read like the prologue or even chapter 1, because you see Arch Extent go through a portal, so you can infer that it's a different world he's going into. So Earth is having the issue of Cosmos Plague, and he's trying to find the answer or cure for it on Division 5, and that's where he finds Winter.
Okay, and Division 5 is gorgeous as well. You have all sorts of crazy looking creatures in there that I love. It almost reminds me of chocobos.
Oh yeah, from was it Final Fantasy?
Yeah.
I never really played a lot of Final Fantasy, but I do know what the chocobos are. They look really cute.
Yeah. We have Mr. X saying, I'm hanging in there at the moment. I had to stop by and support the Bud Live. We always appreciate you stopping in, Mr. X, so thank you so much. Everyone that is watching, speaking of support, you can sign up for the pre-launch. So this is going live April 2nd, and signing up for this pre-launch is very important because you get heads up right when Rose goes live. I'm copying and pasting the link right now. And let's try to get 8 more signups. Let's try to hit 60 by tonight.
60 by tonight. Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, we're at 52, I think, right?
And we can make it happen, guys. So if you're in here, all you have to do is click that link, put it on Facebook and Twitter, anywhere you can. Word of mouth is 100% free. There's my second cat now coming in to impede the interview. So share that link wherever you can and make it happen. Speaking of Kickstarter, what type of rewards and tiers are we looking at with this campaign?
Oh, we got a bunch. So due to demand, I am putting Volume 1 back in this campaign because the only way you were able to get Volume 1 was the Kickstarter last year. So people who have wanted it have waited over a year now to try to get the first book. So, because I don't have it on Amazon or a store for physical. So Volume 1 will be offered back in this campaign. The PDF and Volume 2 physical book will also be offered. There is a merch tier again. So this was something that was also very heavily requested by the tribe, as I call D5 readers. It is a employee handbook that people will get.
That's so
where it
cool.
tells you, oh yeah, it tells you about the do's and don'ts on Division 5, what to avoid, and following Seraphic protocol to be a good employee. So it's like a little like info, like a little like small like info book, as if you're an employee with Seraphic, the main healthcare company in the comic.
That's so cool. Their insurance must be pretty high with the Cosmos Plague.
Oh yes, they're pretty nice to work for. As you know, every evil corporation is pretty nice to work for. The good benefits in it.
So Division 5's not on Earth then? It's like its own planet?
Yes, it's its own planet.
So give us a little bit about that world.
All right, I'm gonna try to explain without spoilers.
Because you had like I noticed a map of like the non-tribe territory. So like there's a lot of lore, I feel, and there's a lot I feel like that's left to be explored as well.
Yes. So Division 5 is an alien planet. Without giving too much spoilers about it, the natives, as Seraphic refers to, or the residents there, are not aware of Seraphic's presence or people from Earth presence on it. I always describe Division 5 as a planet where it's like the medieval age, or I don't know, 1500s or something. And if you gave them an iPad, they'd freak out and call it witchcraft. The equivalent if you went back in time and tried to give them a piece of advanced technology in their eyes, and they're just like, what is this like?
I always love the memes. It's like if you went back to the Pilgrims and gave them a Four Loko, their heart would explode. Like, yeah,
that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, Lee Newman saying, "Yo, Rose, what's up?" Rose has bomb deep lore. Lore is always such a fun part of the creation process. Do you ever find yourself maybe getting lost and creating too much lore? Is there such thing as too much lore for a comic book?
I don't think so. It depends on how you structure it. Because like the way I think about my lore and how I set it up, I'm just going, is this plausible? Does this make sense from point A to point B? What would happen if these two events like interconnected? Things such as that. I don't think you can have too much lore. I mean, look at Warhammer.
Do you ever find yourself having to like cross-examine stuff you've written to make sure the lore is lining up? Or do you have like a little like Bible that you have tucked away?
Yes, I do. I have a big old notebook full of many, many events and things that I have not posted, not even in the Discord channels. The way I have my Discord set up for Division 5 is the more you interact there, the more XP you get, and you can actually unlock lore depending on your employee level within Seraphic.
That's cool.
I have a lot of like roleplay elements to my comic that a lot of people can interact with, just to make it more fun.
That's almost like tabletop elements, it feels like.
Yeah, it is.
That's cool. I really dig that. So with the Kickstarter, what type of tiers can we expect? Like how much is Volume 1, Volume 2 going to be? If you have any merchandise already, what type of merchandise? Like anything that you could drop without spoiling.
Oh yeah. The other two things I have a part of the merch tier is the Arch Extent and the Winter stickers. They're 3 inches. So this will be included in the merch tier with the employee handbook. The Volume 1 with Volume 2 is $50 because each book is $25. Mm-hmm. Volume 2 will be, I'm probably going to increase it slightly, but at the moment it's at 164 pages. Yeah. So Volume 1 was 176 pages. Mm-hmm. So they're pretty close. They're pretty thick. I actually have the original proof of the first one. So this is how book the biggest, with my hand to it.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. This is the proof I got from Comics Wellspring. So yeah, it's pretty much this.
Very gorgeous colors and interiors as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love your art style, the way you design Winter. Arch Extent as well. Can we get an Arch Extent body pillow at any point, please?
I've been asked this many times. You're not the first. I get asked all the time, hey, when are you gonna do that Winter body pillow? And I'm just like, I don't know, man.
I felt like it would have been creepy if I would have said Winter, so I'm like, we're gonna go with Arch.
Oh no, I've had like at least 10 people throw like the Winter body pillow thing at me, and I'm not opposed to it. I have to figure out how to go about that.
So are there gonna be like any early bird specials for anyone who's signing up?
I do not have any early bird specials, unfortunately, but I will be putting Volume 1 in Amazon, and unfortunately, Amazon's fees and everything makes the book more expensive than Kickstarter. So, if you want to get the book at any point, I recommend the Kickstarter. You will save at least $5 on it.
Okay. Yeah, awesome
So-
price there. We have Lee Newman saying D5 trade is thick. Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
when you...
Yeah, this is pretty thick for 176 pages, and the next one's going to be just about thick. That's 164. I might include 1 or 2 more pages, but it's pretty thick. So.
And then both of those combined aren't even the full book one the novel that you've written.
No, I'll probably have like 5 or 6 volumes to cover the first novel.
Oh
so.
my god, imagine how big that's gonna be. Like all 5 combined into one book, it'll be like an omnibus.
Yeah, it would be like the yeah, it would be like the Walking Dead ones. It would be massive.
That's so cool. So give us a little bit about where we're at in the world of Division 5 leading into Volume 2. Like with the Volume 1, like right towards the end, you said it was like the introduction to Chapter 7?
Yeah, so let me log into it right now. And I can read off the tiers. It'll just be easier for me to look at it. Oh, 1 second. Maybe that's not the correct. Oh, I may have caps lock on. I don't know if you ever do that when you log into stuff.
Oh yeah, password related stuff all the time. If it you'll get so infuriated, like it'll be like, "Let me in," and then you look and it's like that little lights on the keyboard. It's like, "Son of a gun."
Son of a gun. Yeah. It's still. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, I had caps lock on. I was like, why is it not letting me log in? Yeah, no, I can definitely read off some of the rewards real quick here. Let me just get to the page. Give me a moment. I was on it earlier, but then I clicked off the tab and I was like, all right, you gotta relog in. I was like, okay, I guess. So the first tier is a PDF. It's $10 like last time. And then the physical book is $25, and then combined together is $35.
Mm-hmm.
I find that most people from the first campaign just went with the physical, or they went with the merch tier. I will have a tier where it has the Volume 1, 2, and merch if someone wants everything. And I also have a double everything pack if you want to get one for a friend and yourself. And the final tier, which is the most expensive one, it's $475. It includes a signed copy of Volume 1 and 2 for me. Also be Volume 1 and 2 PDF. You'll have all the merch, and you will have a character of your choice that I will draw out in the comic, or as a short, or like a side comic, whether it's interacting in the main cast or any other characters.
So like, is that that's like a print, or is that gonna like?
They'll be digitally like given.
Digitally, yeah. No,
yeah,
that's so cool. That is so cool. And then they can interact with any character of their choice.
Yeah. So it'll be like a short or like a side thing, and I'll discuss storyboard and all that with the person, whoever gets the tier. So
is that won't actually be in the story, will it?
We're gonna find out. It depends.
Oh, okay. You're mentioning, when you mentioned storyboard, I was like, wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah, so like a small interaction, basically.
That's cool, though. That is so cool. That's awesome, and that's a great price. And I think for any fan of D5, having that chance to kind of do that and be part of the world in a little bit, even if it's just digitally, is like remarkable.
Yeah, and then that tier and the double everything tier will also be thank you messages, like with like doodles, and so you get more art, like custom art. I do have add-ons as well. Let me just grab it here. Kickstarter's being slow. Sometimes the website does this. For add-ons, if you want, I'll have this was suggested to me from the last campaign. Names at the end of the book for backers if they want their name in. So I have an add-on for $1 if you want your name in the end of the book to say that you supported it.
That's cool.
Yeah, so if you want to throw an extra buck, there you go. I did it that way in case some people didn't like want their name in the book. So that's their way of saying like, I want my name in the book. I back this.
Yeah, a dollar's nothing. I mean,
yeah.
You spend like $1 every day on something, I bet.
Yeah, exactly. And then the PDF, the Volume 1 PDF, and then if you want like a custom like thank you doodle, So if you want like custom artwork for me, it's just $10, but there's only 5 slots for that. So.
That's cool. So is it like just a quick like remark or something?
Yeah. So it's like a handwritten thank you message and like a D5 character of your choosing, or
That's so cool.
You can have me choose one. So it's just $10, and there's 5 slots for that.
That is so cool. So that's launching April 2nd. You're doing a full 30 days?
Yes, I'm doing a full 30 days. So go until May 2nd. It should be May 2nd, right?
That's
yes,
awesome. So everyone watching, right here is the link to check it out. We're going to be dropping that in chat right now. Very excited too. That is so cool. So for anyone who might be on the fence about backing, what would you like to say to them directly to kind of help, push them over that edge when it happens?
You will have to wait a very long time to get your hands on the book. Some people didn't get volume 1, had to wait over a year just for this opportunity. So if you want it, my recommendation is grab it now during that 30 days, because it will be the cheapest you will ever see it. Because once it gets to Amazon, it's not $25. It's going to be more than that.
So, and is it more difficult to do it like with overseas shipping? Like, how does that work?
I'm still in the same scenario where I can't use the post office on base to ship stuff out for like business purposes, because I'll lose command sponsorship. So the workaround to that is I use someone else to do drop shipping for me, which is Comics Wellspring. So if you can't personally do shipping fulfillment for your Kickstarters or anything really, you can use Comic Wellspring to be your printing and your shipping.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. Yeah, they did that for me last time, and it was so smooth. They have great communication. Their prints, and then just with the proof is like amazing. Their quality's great.
So I'm not trying to get too nosy, but this is like one of the first times I've heard about it. Is it like an expensive like thing they for them to do, or would you say it's worthwhile?
It's totally worthwhile. They give you like a spreadsheet to just fill out, and they're like, just put the names, addresses, and what items they have, and they print them out and they package them up in Gemini the Gemini packaging for the comics. They ship them out to people. I'm glad I calculated my shipping price correct. I did a flat rate that everyone pays, so it averages out. So shipping for the US will be $12.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, but you're getting like a package that's like covering, this thick of a book.
Mm-hmm.
And the Gemini mailers are like, they're designed to keep these things in like one piece without any, bending or anything. But because I did art prints from last campaign, which I probably will do this campaign too, depending on the stretch goals we reach, they're like big boxes you're gonna get in the mail, so it's not something tiny. That's why the shipping is like $12.
That's cool though, and that's not too bad. If it would have been shipped from Germany, probably would have been like $30, $40. Yeah,
international shipping is going to be 25 or 26. I'm just redoing a little bit of math for that. So for people who do not live in the US, it will be $25 for shipping.
That's still not too bad though.
But the book's at least 25, so you're either paying 25 or 25 in the merch. So yeah,
so awesome prices on that. Now, for our piece of advice, I want to do it a little bit different. As someone who has, came out with a webcomic, translated it to a physical book, and then made an actual book out of that as well. For anyone looking to add more content to their story, or maybe try different platforms with it, what would be your biggest piece of advice to help make sure that goes smoothly for them?
So for someone who's trying to transition the webcomic to a traditional?
Yeah. Or even just like a traditional to a novel. Like, any of that process. Like, what would you say just overall would kind of make it easier for them to do?
So for me, what made it easier was I had to change my mindset about how those work. Because when you work with a traditional comic and then a vertical comic, you have two different mindsets going on. Mm-hmm. The composition and how the panels are all laid out are so different. And when you transition that to a novel, you have to have another different kind of mindset. You have to have the novelist, writer kind of mindset. So I would take the time to actually look at other comics, web comics, and traditional comics and novels, depending on whatever you want to do, and look at examples of how people do that. Look at how people write, look how people format their comics. Study from other people and learn from them. That way you can incorporate what you learn into like what you want to do. So if you're unsure or lost about how to go between the transition from one medium to another, just look at different examples that you see and learn from it.
That's cool. And I think some awesome sound advice as well. It sounds like it's something that people should at least try to dabble with. You know, you should at least give it a go. Give it, because it might inspire some new ideas. It might get you out of the hole you're stuck in. And you might end up writing a whole novel and getting a whole piece of, you know, extra content for your story. So awesome advice there. We have Lee Newman saying, shout out to the homie, CWS is top tier. Hell yeah, I'll have to check that out. I know I have a lot of friends and a lot of people who come onto the show. So that's interesting. I didn't know they do that, and I think that's a really cool service. Last but not least, before we let you go, Rose, what are you consuming outside of creating? What video games are you playing? What books are you reading?
Besides Helldivers 2, I just picked up this really cute game called Paleo Pines, and it's basically a farming exploration dinosaur game.
I was hoping it was dinosaur related.
Yes, it is a dinosaur game. It is super cute. My husband came in and saw me play it, and he said this looks like a game for 5-year-olds, but it's because the art style is super cute. It's definitely not a game for 5-year-olds. I started stressing on it very briefly for 5 minutes because my dinosaurs were hungry and I had to go buy food, and there was a holiday happening in the game, and I was like, no! But if you like really cute, relaxing games, definitely recommend Paleo Pines. I really enjoy it. It's very surreal playing Paleo Pines, and the next thing I know, I'm killing bugs in Helldivers too.
Yeah, it goes. It's like the Doom and the Animal Crossing crossover.
Yes,
the Doom guy.
yes.
Yeah.
It felt exactly like that, going from a nice, peaceful, relaxing game, and all of a sudden I have to kill bugs. So. And screaming liberty.
I love accidentally carpet bombing my team too. Like that's one of like friendly fire is like not encouraged, but it's definitely like so easy to do.
Oh my gosh, I am probably responsible for most of my team's deaths because I bring the grenade launcher and, you know those armored bugs in Helldivers 2?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you shoot your grenade launcher at them, the grenade like bounces off. Yep,
so what I like to do,
I'm like,
I like to try to dive forward. Maybe it's from my Dark Souls days, but either you like go to the side or you like jump forward and then shoot them in the side or behind them.
Really? Oh,
because when they lock down, you just hurry up or it helps when you have teammates that you know you haven't killed, and then they're able to like do like provide support fire.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, it is time for us to end. Everyone watching, right here is a link. Be sure to check this out. Going live April 2nd, so you have a week to sign up. We would love to see 60 signups if possible. Some awesome tiers. Some awesome stretch goals as well, too. I think bookmark is the first one?
Yeah, so before we go, the first stretch goal is a bookmark. That is the biggest illustration I've ever made in my life. I don't even know how many hours went in that. So I'm very excited. I think we can unlock at least the first stretch goal. I'm pretty confident about it. I'm pretty confident we're going to get this funded, too.
Let's go. And
the second stretch goal is the map of Division 5. And that's going to be an actual physical poster you get. It's going to be 11 by 17. It's going to be like one of those posters, kind of like of maps you get from like, I don't know, like Skyrim, like about like the physical Skyrim. You open it up and there's a map of Skyrim, or like Fallout or something like that, like a game map kind of.
Every gamer had the Fallout Skyrim map combo up in their room at some point, I feel.
Oh yeah, like one of those, or Assassin's Creed, or I think Assassin's Creed had one of those. And then the third stretch goal, which is $2,500, is a pinup of Winter. So I saved the best for last. So that'd be a physical print. Yeah.
Let's go. That is awesome. So thank you so much for swinging by. Everyone watching, I hope you all have a fantastic Tuesday. Most importantly, though, keep it geekly.